You've got to take the time to build the case. You can't assume that anybody knows anything. Website's a great opportunity to build your case. You can put as much information on there as you want. And as long as you organize it properly on the site, people can, it's like an accordion, right? You want, pull it wide. You can go in there and look at as much as you want. If you're not that interested or you don't have much time, you can, squeeze it down to just a little bit. It gives people the option to educate themselves at whatever pace and quantity they want. But,
Yeah.
one of the things we do is website audits. So it's like, hey, let's take a look at your website. We're going to audit it to see how the identity is, some of these SEO things that we'll talk about in a minute. And so there's three different categories of scores on the website audit. One of them is conversionability, which is a measurement of how well your site does at converting traffic into leads. Okay. Regardless of where that traffic came from. If it came from advertising, came from digital advertising, came from, organic search, whatever, it doesn't matter. How well is that site doing? And a big part of that is going to be building your case with identity and then social proof. And identity. So first of all, the average score that we see on these website audits is 27 out of 100 of the aggregated score of the three sections, 27. And the average score that we see on the conversionability section, I haven't actually taken time to average it, but it's going to be even lower. It's going to be probably 20. Companies, they are not telling their story on their websites. They're just not. Here's what their websites say. Hey, look at these beautiful pictures. We do this thing. We sell this thing, whatever it is, siding, air conditioning, roofing, whatever it happens to be. And, it comes down to a beauty contest, not to get too outdated and weird here, but it's like the old Miss America competition. It's like, okay, there's 50 women from 50 states. And guess what? All of them are beautiful. Like they don't let ugly women into the Miss America pageant. That's not how it works. Sorry, hopefully that's not too politically incorrect.
No, you're fine. We get it.
But this is
We'll
what's
bleep it.
happening. It's like, oh, look, we're going to compete in our website by how it looks, but we don't have any substance behind it. And so if somebody sees your website and then they see another competitor's website, 2, 3, 4, guess what? They're all aggregated right there for you by Google. And if they all kind of look the same, you're not going to really have much of a competitive advantage just by quote unquote looking better. The aesthetics of the site it's like in the Miss America pageant, it's the entrance. Of course you're going to be beautiful now. And, I think in 2023, we've caught up, with this whole Miss America thing. It's like, no, women are a lot more valuable than just how they look. Let's learn more about you. Let's learn more about your company. What is it that you do that makes you different and better besides just having a quote unquote nice looking website? You know how easy it is to have a nice looking website in 2023? All you got to do is go find a WordPress template. There's 50 billion of them. They cost anywhere from $20 to $200. You have to find somebody on Upwork that you can pay literally $150, and you can have a 20-page website that'll cost you less than $500 that looks absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So if you think that your beautiful website is going to be some kind of a competitive advantage, you're wrong. It's the price to, what do they call it in poker? It's the ante. Just to participate, that's the minimum requirement.
Right. Table stakes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think even now there's like AI tools. You can literally just put in a prompt like, I am a plumber in West Virginia and I offer residential plumbing services. And then it'll design a website with stock imagery and some random generated text. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to resonate with the customer, right?
Well, you've got two issues at stake here. Okay. Because, my company sells websites, and our typical website is a lot more expensive than $500. A lot.
Yeah.
Why would you spend more than $500? And the answer is twofold. Number one, what that random AI generated website or the website that the guy on Upwork is going to create for you for $500, the content, the story that is going to tell is going to be abysmally bad, if that's even a word. It's not going to be any good. But then also even more, I was going to say even more, these are tied. They're both problems. From a search standpoint, organic search, it's going to do nothing. It's going to literally do nothing because it's not going to there's practices and protocols that you have to put into place for your website to be valuable to Google on an organic search base.
Yeah. And why does organic search matter? I think for some people, they hear SEO, they understand, oh, well, someone said that's important, but let's just even get to the importance and the significance of just search in general.
Well, I mean, you just have to ask yourself this question. Do people use the internet to find what they're looking for? And the answer is obviously yes. I don't think anybody's disputing that at this moment. But it's even more important for things that people don't buy that frequently. It's like if you're sitting at a
Yeah.
restaurant and the waiter comes over and he's like, "What do you want to drink?" And you say Coke, and he goes, "Well, we don't have Coke, we have Pepsi." You don't say, "Oh, well, hang on a second, let me get my phone out. What is this Pepsi? Oh, geez, it only has 3.7 stars. I think I'm going to pass. I'll just take a water," because people don't do that. But when it comes to contractors, and that's a wide gamut of kinds of things, but people just don't typically buy that stuff.
Yeah.
I do informal surveys when I do live speaking. I would say 15% have bought what you're selling before. So they just don't know. So you have to spell things out to people. You have to help them understand, and you have to give them exactly, they have to understand what it is. So when it comes to search, they're going to be on the internet looking. And if your website is not one that's going to show up, they're never going to know you exist. Now,
Yeah.
you can end around that. So here's the ways that you end around it. Number one, you buy ads from Google. Well, here's the problem with buying ads from Google. And I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't buy ads from Google, but here's the problem with buying ads from Google. If you look at a search results page, let's say I'm in Utah right now. Let's say I search for a roofer. So I type in roofer near me. There's going to be 3 or 4 or 5 ads that show up. And I strongly recommend that you try to be one of those ads because they're going to show up at the top of the page. Google's going to give them prominent real estate on that page. Here's the problem though. There's only 5. Guess
Yeah.
what's happening with those 5? It's not like nobody else ever got the idea. Hey, what if we bought those ads? Everybody buys those ads. So it bids the price up because it's a bidding process. And those leads become prohibitively expensive in many cases, not in all cases, but in many cases. And that's if you can even show up at all. Then you've got the issue that some people have bias against the ads. They don't want
Right.
to buy the ads. They don't want to click the sponsored link. I'm not saying nobody clicks the sponsored link. Clearly they do. Otherwise you would never get charged for those clicks. But the organic part, this is where people are going to look for things that they can trust more. And if you believe that people are actually asking Google who to buy stuff from, then you should do everything you can to show up as high as you can in those rankings.